Who says groove on? Oh, hella beard, it's your boy Big BB, and we are back for another edition of Big Beard Business. Today I want to talk to you about my crazy, insane fragrance collection. It's not crazy and or insane. Today we're going to talk about my fragrance collection. Specifically, we're going to dive into the house of Parfums de Marly. We're going to talk about all of the Parfums de Marly fragrances I have here under this roof, and we're going to explain some of the best or my favorite from the brand. Now, I have to say this here because it bothers me. If any of you out there watch Alex Costa, tell him to holler at your boy because, well, I think he's missing his brand within his collection. I was recently watching his crazy, insane fragrance collection, and within that, he didn't have anything from the house of Parfums de Marly, and we have to change that, my guy. So if you're watching, holla at your boy. I got you. Today we're gonna hop into this brand, and again, for the title purposes, it might say something like $5,000 because it's easier for YouTube to recognize it. But this is probably around $7,000 to $8,000 worth of fragrances from the house of Parfums de Marly. There are a ton that I am missing, but can we catch them all like Pokemon? So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get down to Big Beard Business. The first fragrance I want to talk about is one of the newer fragrances from Parfums de Marly, and this one is an exclusive with Harrods, and this one is Layton. Now, Layton is this woody, herbal, but slightly sweet fragrance that has this aromatic quality. Some of your notes of this one include some oud, you have saffron, praline, clary sage, and bergamot. This one is a phenomenal fragrance, and I'm growing more and more in love with that scent as I own it. So if you have not gotten your nose on that one yet, you may have to order it in if you're here stateside, but Layton is a phenomenal scent. The next one I want to talk about is one of the first fragrances I have from the house of PDM, and this one happens to be that of Harrod. Now, Harrod is this sophisticated scent that really works well in the fall and winter. This one opens up with some cinnamon, and then in the base here, you really have a powerful note of tobacco. This is a photorealistic note of tobacco in my personal opinion, and does what the house of PDM does well, which is exude really this life of luxury. You get that within the scent. Again, that's the tobacco, vanilla, musk, patchouli, top tier scent in my opinion, and one of the more popular fragrances from the house. Next on my list is the sensual, seductive oriental fragrance that really can last all day and all night, and this one is that of Layton. Now, Layton is probably the most popular men's fragrance from the house of PDM, and I don't have any statistics on that, so don't shoot me down if it's wrong here, but this fragrance here is one of those fragrances that are constantly mentioned in list videos, specifically for those colder months, as a lot of the fragrances that we'll talk about today are. Layton features jasmine, apple, violet, geranium, and I always get someone out there who's like, no, you're wrong, Kevin Hart voice when I say this, but there's also some coffee within the scent. You get some Galloway wood, and this has a sweet quality to it, and an all-around magnificent scent. Sensual, oriental, seductive Layton. Now, the next fragrance I want to talk about is one that is stunning to me in pictures, on my shelf, and just holding in the hand. This fragrance presentation is amazing. This one is called Cologne, and this one is obviously from the house of PDM, and hopefully I said that name correct. No one's ever corrected me there, but I'm likely saying it incorrectly. Now, I love the red within this fragrance, and there's also some blood orange within this scent, and I feel that the bottle is really set to bring that out. Now, when I think of this fragrance, as well as most of the fragrances from PDM, again, that fall and winter time is when this fragrance really comes to life, but this is one that you would wear in more of a festive situation. This one opens up a little bit bright. Again, you have some of those brighter notes in the top, but don't get that confused because there's still some spice there between that black pepper, and you also get some spices. Just a great scent here, and something really different from the line of what I had experienced up to this scent. So Cologne is an amazing fragrance that I think everyone should get their nose on. Now, as we hop into the fifth fragrance on our list today, this one is one that is fit for a gentleman. You can dress this one up, you could dress it down, wear it in morning, night, fall, spring, winter, and that is Pegasus. Pegasus is a fragrance that is one that is personally one of my favorites from the house, and I just enjoy it. This one has this bitter almond note. You get some lavender within the scent, heliotrope, cypress, jasmine, amber. Just a fragrance that is gentlemanly. I enjoy this fragrance so much, and it took me so long to get this fragrance because I have so many fragrances that attempt to do what this fragrance does, but they all fall short of being 100%. When it comes down to it, man, this scent is just elegant, it's crispy, it's fresh, but it still has that warmth to it that works in those colder months. And again, it has that powdery feel, so it has that cuddle buddy selection and activity to it. So be sure to try your nose on Pegasus. Now, as I mentioned, there was a newer version of Pegasus release, and this one is Pegasus Exclusif. Now, I believe Pegasus Exclusif either came out at the end of 2020 or the top of 2021. Now, as I mentioned, with Pegasus, they really focused on spring, fall, and winter, right? But when I look at that scent, it is, compared to this one, more of a daytime scent, although I did say you can wear that one day or night. This one here, to me, this exclusive version, is more for that gentleman, but for that more masculine gentleman, right? This one has that more manly feel to it, that more spice, more elegance, and just all around a more refined, elegant scent. Now, this one really takes that bitter almond within that and infuses it with gaiac wood. You have some natural oud here, and I just enjoy it. Like, I've been talking about this fragrance so much since I've gotten it. I think a lot of you out there who have not had the opportunity to try this one yet should. And if you can, you should actually pick this one up. I'm not sure how long this one will be around, or any of the fragrances that we talk about today, because we all know that fragrance companies do what they want. But this is one that I'm a fan of, and yeah, this is definitely one that will be in my rotation over and over again, specifically in that colder weather. You spray this one on, you're gonna smell like a boss. The next fragrance I want to talk about is a beautiful fragrance, just like all of the ones we've talked about. This one features the notes of nutmeg, you have saffron within this one, and then you also have apple. This one is Carlisle. Now, Carlisle is similar to some of the other fragrances that we talked about, where this one would work in the spring, but fall and winter is where this one will really come to life. And if you're wearing this one in the spring, I would say that this one should be a special event, so a nighttime scent there. Now, also with this fragrance, you also get some tonka within this, and this warming, sophisticated, sensual vibe. This is a fragrance that really is the epitome of what a niche fragrance should be. You really are taking some risk here, but it's really done in a way that is pleasurable and enjoyable to all that smell it. Carlisle is one that gets a lot of love within the fragrance community, and it's for good reason. If you have not checked that fragrance out, make sure you do so, specifically as we head into spring. Again, that's going to be your spring nighttime fragrance for you to really get your groove on. Who says groove on? The next fragrance here is one that has character. Yes, this is a little bit different. This one is, in my opinion, more for those nighttime wears in colder months, okay? When it's cold outside, you got Habdan from Parfums de Marly right here ready to go. Sweet, spicy, amber, incense. I'm not sure what much more you can ask for from a fragrance. Now, this one is from the Arabian collection, and you'll know that because it has this black bottle and the gold cap. And within that, you're gonna get some of those more spicy, rich fragrances that also feature notes like oud and feature notes like incense within them. But just like the rest of the fragrances, they are blended extremely well and do their job. So there you have it, Habdan. Now, the next fragrance I'll talk about today is one that is also from the Arabian collection, and this one is Oajan, those are all the various names that I've heard this fragrance called. And this one here is one of my personal favorites, not only in the collection, but from the house in itself. This one here features, oh my goodness, whoa. This one here features that stop you in your tracks feel. There's this honey within this fragrance. There's labdanum, benzoin, honey, amber, a very sensual fragrance that gets compliments. It's really just grabs you and pulls you in terms of what it does, right? So if you're looking for a sensual fragrance that ladies will enjoy, the compliments will roll in, and it's also very different but very familiar all at once, then be sure to try this one out. Oajan. Yeah. They're gonna say, hold up, whoa now, shout it. when you rocking that one. And the next one I want to go to is also from the Arabian collection. Hopefully it's called the Arabian collection, because otherwise I'm butchering it. But this one is Nisean. Now, not like the Nissan that you drive around in. This one here is very, very different. Nisean is incense, resin, patchouli, great for colder months. Again, as a lot of these fragrances are, that's really what they do, where they really stand out in my opinion. But this one is built for the colder months, fall, winter, maybe parts of spring, like early spring with still cold in the morning. But I feel like this fragrance is more so of a nighttime fragrance, right? So if it's colder in the morning or colder at night, whichever one is best, that's where you should be rocking this fragrance. Again, the incense, that resin is all within this fragrance, and it's slightly different than the other two, but all in the same vein in terms of what the collection has to offer. They all kind of have a similar vibe in terms of what they do and the note breakdown, but the fragrances are completely different. For instance, Nisean opens up with lime, there's a grapefruit and pink pepper, but this fragrance also features some leather notes here. You can get rose within this fragrance. So again, these are notes that compete, but they come together extremely well with a fragrance like this. Nisean is one that you should try, especially if you like smoky and lactonic scents. This is one that should be on your list. Now, since we're heading into spring, I want to talk about this next fragrance, which I personally believe is one that is going to get a lot of discussion and conversation in terms of lists and fragrances that you should be wearing during those spring and summer days. This fragrance comes obviously from the house of Parfums de Marly, and this one is Greenly. Now, Greenly is this masculine fragrance that has a classic approach to fragrance, but it also is one that I feel will stand the test of time because it's also modernized enough where it's going to work today and really resonate across age groups. Greenly is bergamot, apple, musk, petitgrain, oak moss, the list goes on. There's so many notes within this fragrance, and it does a phenomenal job for spring and summer. Whether you're walking in a park or just cooling it casually, that is one that will work. Now, the next fragrance I want to talk about also is one that stands out in the spring and summer, and again, one of my more personal favorites within the collection. And the fragrance is that of Sedley. Sedley has this bergamot, a watery accord, geranium, sandalwood, incense, white musk, and just a really modern approach to a classic scent. Very similar to Greenly, but very different. Now, if you're looking at these two fragrances, because again, some of the notes are going to be the same, this one here is more so of a fruity scent, although it's not fruity. This one here is more of a watery scent, right? And that's the best I can explain that. This one is more outdoorsy without being green. It's just a great approach to fragrance. When I smell this one, I feel cool, I feel refined and refreshed, and this one is a refreshing scent with a refined feel. So Sedley is one that you should try. I think I would be remiss not to mention that Sedley also features some spearmint within this fragrance, but it doesn't come off as like a super double mint gum. It has slight hints of spearmint there that I find are done well, and they come out when they're supposed to. Now I'm gonna switch it up a bit and switch back into those colder weather scents, but this one works daytime or nighttime, great for fall and winter, and this one is Gold Dolphin. Now Gold Dolphin, just by the look of it, you can see that this one was made for a king. In my opinion, Gold Dolphin is a masculine, sophisticated fragrance that features rose, you get vetiver leather, you get some musk within this scent, and you also get saffron, amber, and vanilla. Just a great scent. If you're wondering what this one smells like, aside from what I just mentioned, think of Tom Ford Tuscan leather, think of ombre leather, right? Around that vibe is what you can expect with Gold Dolphin. The next fragrance I want to talk about is one that I have a baby bottle of, but this is a big boy scent. This fragrance is one that is sophisticated, is sensual, and great for colder months, and this one is Layton Exclusif. Now, we talked about an exclusive version of a fragrance on this video when we talked about Pegasus and Pegasus Exclusif, and Layton was really one of the first ones from the house to do it. This fragrance is one that is deep, rich, woody, and really pairs well for a fall or winter elegant night out. Just top tier, if you're asking me. And again, there's really not many from the house that I've come across that were not like standout scents. And in fact, all the ones that I've smelled, I own, and I think they're dope. So there you have it. The next one I want to talk about is one that is a little bit different, but features the note of musk. And musk comes in this one in a big way. And the fragrance is none other than that of Galloway, and this is the one in the white bottle. To me, Galloway is going to be perfect for a spring or summer day. It's bright, it's inviting, it's uplifting, and really balances out well. In the base of this fragrance, you get musk, you get amber, you get some sandalwood. In the top, this one opens up fresh, but you still get some spice here with that black pepper within the scent. And then in the mid, you get some floral notes. So kind of a traditional stack, but a bit different. And this is just a top tier scent, specifically when it comes down to those musky notes. When I think of musk within fragrances, another one that I really do like from the house of Creed is Himalaya, but I think that these two really feature musk, but in totally different ways, and that one is a great one. And the final men's fragrance I want to talk about here today is one that is also really going to be primed for that spring and summer wear. And this one does feature the note of musk, but it is done differently than that of what we would find in Galloway. And that fragrance is none other than that of Percival. Now, Percival is a fresh fragrance, but it's woody and still has this sensual vibe to it. This one's going to be great for, again, spring, summer, daytime, or night wear. And this one is going to be a scent that really has a traditional fragrance stack, but it's blended well, and it has that added musk within it that just brings out something completely different within this scent. Now, I did mention that this fragrance is going to be more so for spring and summer, but there's some added tonka within the base of this fragrance, along with some woody notes that I think really provide a little bit of warmth to the fragrance and makes it more of a masculine scent. And again, in addition to that musk there. So this is a fragrance that could be unisex, but it's one that I think will be on a lot of men's lists and maybe even some women's lists. But Percival is one that I would definitely recommend. Now I'm going to quickly run through a few of the fragrances my missus owns because they're dope. And the first one is probably one of the most popular fragrances from them as well. And this one is that of Delina. Now Delina really plays on the note of rose, but oh my goodness, this is a masterpiece scent. Now, Delina is actually part of a collection, and this is obviously the one that kicked it off, but these are a collection of fragrances that have that rose and powdery feel. Also, some of them come off slightly woody, but more of a majestic, pretty scent that a lot of ladies out there dig. And if you are a man, you're gonna love smelling this one on your lady. Mother's Day is in a few months, so make sure you try this one out. Or if you are looking for a more femme version of that one, because that one's not dark, but it's not as light as the next one that we'll talk about. And this one is Delina La Rose. Now this is the latest version within this Delina lineup. So this one is going to be not as popular, but it's also going to be readily available if you are looking for it. You can probably see a little bit because of the bottle of that fresher take on the scent, trying to visualize that here as the bottle is translucent. You can see through it a little bit to kind of just show you that, hey, this is a lighter feel. But the darkest of the three fragrances, in my opinion, is that of Delina Exclusif. Now, Delina Exclusif is next level. Now, within this one, you still get that reoccurring theme of pear, lychee, rose, and musk, but there's just slight twists and turns within this fragrance that really provide a more elegant feel to this fragrance than that of what you already get. The powdery vibe is more refined within this one. It comes off more sensual, in my opinion, but just an all-around collection of great fragrances, the Delina lineup. Now, they also have hairsprays, body lotions, etc. So if you're looking to dive into it, then go wow. Now, honestly, I can't remember if Delina La Rose came out first or if it was this next one that was the last one, but it's either going to be one of the latest fragrances from the house of Parfums de Marly at the time of filming this video, and this one is Oriana. Now, Oriana is a fragrance that does something different, completely different than that of we talked about with Delina. Now, you might think that because of the bottle that this one would be maybe in the same line, just a more darker version, but no, this one is a gourmand take on a fragrance. And if you're not familiar with what gourmand means, that just means it has this edible feel, something you can eat. This one has this marshmallow vibe, all right? This one is very marshmallowy, and that is what I get when I smell this scent. Now, although the marshmallow is alive and well here, it's not an exclusively marshmallow scent. It's airy and a joyful, uplifting fragrance. You get some fresh notes in the top, orange blossom, black currant, and raspberry in the mid, and then in the base is actually where you get that marshmallow. Some cream and mucks there as well. I think this one is an amazing scent, and you know, be sure to check that one out. All right, Oriana. Now this next one here is one that is not as popular, but I think this one is for that woman that's a little bit different and may not like the traditional dainty smelling scent. Now don't get that confused with the fragrance that is, well, manly or masculine, because it's not. This one just is for that lady who's enjoying a summer day or spring day out with the girls. When the mid of this fragrance, you're gonna get this mimosa accord there, which I think really provides something different as it has a sparkling vibe. Within Cassili, there's also plum, there's tonka, and vanilla. Just a fragrance that I personally enjoy, and the missus does enjoy this one as well. And prior to some of the other fragrances, this was one of her favorite fragrances from the house of Parfums de Marly. So that's one that I can co-sign, signed, sealed, and delivered as a great scent. And the final fragrance that we'll mention today is one that is really this sensual bouquet of floral notes, but it also has this bed of sweetness within it, and it's one that, because of those floral notes and the way it's blended, comes off a bit darker than the other ones that we talked about, but still a scent that is going to be super enjoyable and easy to wear. This one is the fragrance of Darcy, and Darcy is different than the others that we've talked about because this one is a woman's scent, but in my opinion, out of the fragrances that we've talked about, this one's going to be best primed for that colder weather. This one's going to be for that day or night where you want to feel your best and smell amazing. In addition to those floral notes here, again, there's some rose and jasmine. There's also patchouli and praline in the base here too, as well as some musk. So those are 22 fragrances from the house of Parfums de Marly that I think everyone needs to get their nose on. And if you have any additional recommendations for me, I think I need to do just a whole clean sweep on the collection. From the men's side, I think there may be 7 or 8 fragrances that I don't own that I do need to pick up, and I'm looking to do that. And then on the women's side, I think there may be another 5 or 6 that the missus doesn't own, but maybe we'll get the entire lineup here and we can talk about them a bit more after we do it, and I can give you my overall final best 10 or top 5 from the house of Parfums de Marly. So that's all I have for you guys and girls out there today. As always, I'm your boy, Big B. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again. And you already know what I need you to do. Just hit the goddamn bell.